Okay, we good, we good, we good, we good. Yeah. All right, y'all, let's get this show started. Turn this right here like that. Yeah, there we go. All right, y'all. What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild, and I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping into today's and tonight's episode, Sunday night special. And major props to y'all showing major love. Shout out to the chat, deep in the building, early in the building. Again, salute y'all, showing me major love. Episode 250. That's a lot of episodes, y'all. A lot of episodes. So again, I want to thank y'all for your support and showing major love. With no further ado, let's get it popping. Thank the presenting sponsor of this podcast, which is Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. Also, I want to thank OUV Records, again, another sponsor of the pod. Make sure y'all tap into OUV Records. Be on the lookout for that new app. So be on the lookout for that. And remember, y'all, the rules are simple. Do not be a stain. Have the ability, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Have the ability to stand out by being positive opposed to being negative. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. And again, the only op we recognize over here is opportunity. Hate has a location. It's just not here. We're gonna have a good time tonight. We talk about everything, and we have a lot of fun doing it too. Again, stay engaged in the chat and make sure y'all continue to show you that love. All right, y'all. First segment of the night, popular opinions. Again, brought to you by OUV Records. Again, make sure y'all go to Instagram at OUV Records. Stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. The label motto is create, document, and inspire, as you see. And you can see the big box back there too, right? So make sure y'all go and tap into at OUV Records on Instagram. All right, y'all, first question of the night. And remember, y'all, these are not my questions. These are the world's questions. So stick to the answers in the questions. Question number one. Best 90s TV daytime show. Best 90s TV daytime show on this list. Okay. Number one, Jenny Jones. Number two, Maury. Number three, Ricky Lake. Number four, Montel Williams. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And again, shout out to the chat. I almost missed the chat. Shout out to some of our day ones. Shout out to some of our big badge holders. I see King Prince in the building. Big badge holder, have his badge for over 2 years. Shout out to Shay in the building. Shout out to Winter. Shout out to Tree in the building. Shout out to, who else am I missing? Shout out to Lair in the building. Shout out, man. Shout out. Major love in the building. Major love. And again, thank y'all for supporting the pod. All right, so again, the question was best 90s daytime TV show. Best 90s daytime TV show. Again, number one, Jenny Jones. Number two, Maury. Number three, Ricky Lake. Number four, Montel Williams. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Paul. We got Big Paul in the building. Appreciate Big Paul tapping in. One of our day ones in the building. Appreciate Big Paul in the building. So right now I'm seeing 1 and 2 in the chat. I'm seeing Jenny Jones and I'm seeing Maury. All of these shows was crazy bangers in the 90s. If you know, you know, even in the early 2000s. Crazy bangers. A great watch. Great entertainment. Hands down, right? Jenny Jones had my heart for many moons. I'm not going to hold you. She had my heart. Ricky Lake had my heart before Jenny Jones as far as like entertainment and just watching ability, their topics. Ricky Lake had it all a lot. Montel Jordan for me was a bit too grown. Again, these 90s shows was on when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? 8, 9, 10, 11. Great daytime TV, right? But these were great watches. But for me, at the peak of my daytime watching, I have to go with Maury. Maury show was just so pivotal in the game because honestly, I think he took all those shows and it just went up to the whole extra level when it came to entertainment value. And then once Maury locked on to the "Is that your baby?" when he realized like that was the thing that people kept coming back, and it got wilder and wilder, where women was testing not 2 guys but 3, not 3 guys but 6. Not, and then mind you, there was times where all 6 guys wasn't the father. Like it was like, damn, you letting all these people hit it raw, which is crazy. Luckily, nobody had no diseases from that, right? But Maury was such a great watch. So for me, I gotta go with Maury. The chat went with Maury and Jenny Jones in the chat. And again, y'all don't forget that them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We right next to that 13,000 mark. Like we like a few short of 13,000. So continue to hit that all notification bell and tap into the memberships. Take advantage of those memberships. We got quite a few members in the chat, so take advantage. All right, y'all. So again, number 1 was Jenny Jones. Number 2 was Maury. Number 3 was Ricky Lake. Number 4 was Montel Williams. Again, I went with Maury. The chat went with Jenny Jones and Maury. The rest of the world, mind y'all, 88,000 people voted on this. 40% went with number 3, Ricky Lake. Yes, they went with Ricky Lake. I'm not mad at that. Ricky Lake, for some people, Ricky Lake was probably before some people time, because Ricky Lake was really popping mid-90s to late 90s, and it was rocking. Like, Ricky Lake used to have them topics where, you know, like one of her topics I used to like, I ain't gonna hold you, is like, yeah, back then I was whack, and now I'm all that. So now, when the girl that was like kind of geeky back in the day, now she done blossomed, and you know what I'm saying, fellas, you know what I'm talking about. The girl that was in the class quiet, real geeky style, and then now when she gets older, she just blossomed. You know what I'm saying? I had a few of those in my class, and my coach used to tell me, he was like, yo, treat all of them nice. I'm telling you, because when y'all get older, one of them gonna be super beautiful. She gonna remember you was being nice to her. So, you know what I'm saying? Word from the wise, right? I was like, that girl ain't never gonna be all right. But nah, it was a lot of them. But even for the fellas was like, you know, pimple face and geeky. But you know, when they became adults, they got in the gym. They, you know what I'm saying? They upped their sexual marketplace. You know what I'm saying? They got their body right. They got good jobs and whatever. So I used to love watching people like, you know, those type of subjects. I used to love the crush. I got a crush on you. The women that was sleeping with the same dude. And mind you, it was always crazy to me every time when the dude was sleeping with more than one woman on Ricky Lake. The dude just come out looking like regular as hell. Like, I'm like, y'all fighting over, like, I don't mean to judge other dudes, but this who you fighting over, man? Like, oh, why? So, then, like, I set the bar low for, you know what I'm saying? So, again, watching that show, it was pure comedy. So, again, I'm not mad at the Ricky Lake choice. The Ricky Lake was popping back in the late 90s. No, mid to late 90s. It was for sure rocking. It was for sure rocking. A whole good time. So, shout, and all these shows was great, but my show was still Maury. I don't care what they say on this list. All right, y'all, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Favorite Omar Epps movie on this list. Favorite Omar Epps movie on this list. Number 1, Higher Learning. Number 2, Love and Basketball. Number 3, Into Deep. Number 4, Juice. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, favorite Omar Epps movie on this list. Favorite Omar Epps movie on this list. Number 1, Higher Learning. Number 2, Love and Basketball. Number 3, Into Deep. Number 4, Juice. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. So for me, all these movies are great. All these movies are a good time. Omar Epps bodied all these movies. It's one other movie that Omar Epps starred in that nobody talks about. Is one of my favorite movies and football movies of all time. Shout out to the movie The Program. If you know, you know. Darnell Jefferson character played by Omar Epps was absolute fire. And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But out of all these movies, great movies, Higher Learning, Love and Basketball, Into Deep, Juice, the kid in me wants to say Juice. I'm not gonna lie. The kid in me wants to say Juice. But I'm gonna have to go with Into Deep. Like he played that character so well that the drug lords, they had no clue that this dude was actually a cop. What LL Cool J said at the end of the movie? You ain't no cop, Jay Reed. You ain't no cop. What you mean you a cop? You ain't no cop. Nah. So he played it off so well. And he literally went deep into that character. So, and then the contrast on when he's with, Nia Long, she plays the love interest in the movie, and his look and his demeanor opposed to when he's in the drug world was just on a whole nother level. So me personally, I gotta go with Into Deep. Me personally. In the chat, I'm seeing Higher Learning, I'm seeing Into Deep, and I'm seeing Juice. So it's kind of mixed up. So again, Omar Epps have some outstanding performances in these movies. He has some outstanding performances. So all these movies are great. I'm surprised that some of you haven't said, which I think is the most obvious that I think most people would say, and it is what it is. But so it is what it is. So me, I'm going with Into Deep. In the chat, it's a mixed bag. I'm not going to hold you. The rest of the world at 39%, mind y'all, over 210,000 people voted on this. Went with, come on, y'all know what the answer is. They went with Love and Basketball. You know they was going to go with Love and Basketball. Y'all know this. Anything with Love and Basketball in any question, the world just love this movie. And it's a great movie. It's a great movie. But I think honestly, they asked Omar Epps to do different things in these other movies opposed to Love and Basketball. Love and Basketball probably was the easiest one emotionally as far as layers of what they asked Omar Epps to do. Because if you remember Higher Learning and, dealing with racial tension, dealing with out of placement, dealing with the social construct of college and how it works for young athletes in finding their way and dealing with loss and tragedy. I mean, Omar Epps bodied that, so I think they asked him to do more on Higher Learning. Into Deep, I already said he was just multi-leveled and Into Deep, multi-level. Juice, he also had to deal with loss. He also had to deal with brotherhood. He had to deal with learning how to stand alone in a group, even though, ain't no one man bigger than the crew, right? So they asked him to do more things, in my opinion, in the other movies opposed to Love and Basketball. So, but Love and Basketball did win that 39%. Went with that again, 210,000 people voted on that. So again, I ain't mad. It's the most famous movie out of the bunch. And I'm not mad at that. It's a great movie. So, and he also had a good performance. All right, so moving on to our next segment. Our Hollywood Need to Ask Us. I came up with the segment because Hollywood just don't give us enough interesting, intriguing movies. I feel like I got better ideas, whether it's a movie or a movie series. For my Hollywood Need to Ask Us for tonight's episode is, I would love to see a prequel of Vampire in Brooklyn. The character Dr. Zako, he had made mention that he was in love with a young lady back in his island. And he knew Maximilian. And he knew the struggles of loving a woman while that woman had feelings for another man who happens to be a vampire. So I would love to see a prequel to that movie. I would call this movie Blood of the Caribbean. Obviously, this would be Dr. Zako's movie. I think he's a character when he had the scar on his face that told the story. And obviously the things he was telling Young Justice in the new movie, I think that would also be a great benefit too, as far as navigating the story. But basically, he knew Rita's mother. years ago during the research into the Caribbean with the vampires, the origin story that would explore the tragic love triangle between Zako as he's the human researcher, the mom, which is Angela Bassett character, her mom, and the vampire, which is her father in the movie. So I would love to see that prequel play out in itself. Obviously, it's a horror. I wouldn't make it comedy. This would make it horror. Rated R. My foundational actors would be John Boyega to play Dr. Zako, young Dr. Zako. I'm gonna go with Tiana Paris to play the young Angela Bassett's mom. So she plays her mom. I would go with Anthony Mackie as Leon, the vampire that she falls in love with. And the older version of Zako, I will go with Zach Mokia. So that would be my foundational cast. My director for this movie would be Nia DaCosta, who's also known for doing Candyman. My producer, I can't go no further than Jordan Peele. My music score would be Michael Abels. He did Us and Get Out. My art director would be Hannah Beecher. You know, that's my you know what I'm saying, my ace in the hole. And of course I'll write it, and I think it will be a fire must-see movie. I think everybody will go see it because of how good, in my opinion, Vampire in Brooklyn was. It was a great story. I think there's things that they didn't touch in the movie because they did run out of running time, but it's Eddie Murphy, right? So Eddie Murphy gonna bring the comedy, but it was such a great story, and it has so many legs for a prequel, in my opinion. So I think everybody will go see that and support that. So again, my Hollywood Need to Ask Us movie is called The Blood of the Caribbean, and it's the Dr. Zako story prequel of Vampire in Brooklyn. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. I'm going to give out 3 Eddie Murphy Awards to 3 must-see movies, so make sure y'all tap in. It's Sunday night. You got the whole week to watch these movies, so make sure y'all tap in, come back, and let me know. So my first Eddie Murphy Award goes to the movie that came out in 1998, directed by Bruno Barretto. This movie stars Stephen Baldwin, Chris Penn, Gina Gershon, Mike McLean, and Bo Diddley. That's a great cast, actually. This movie is called One Tough Cop. Fire movie, again, about a tough top cop solving crime in New York City. And you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for you. Just make sure you tap in. Movies are better that way. So make sure y'all tap in to see One Tough Cop. My second Eddie Murphy Award movie goes to a movie came out in 2003, directed by Antoine Fuqua. This movie stars Bruce Willis, Monica Bellucci, Cole Hustler, Johnny Messina, and Aaron Walker. This movie is called Tears of the Sun. Fire must-see movie. This is about basically the government, as a government in Africa that needs assistance from our soldiers, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. I won't spoil it for y'all, so make sure y'all tap in to see the movie Tears of the Sun. My third and final must-see movie, my third Eddie Murphy Award movie goes to a movie that came out in 1985. This movie stars Melissa Leo, Dale McCleave, Antonio Vargas, and legendary Leon and legendary Antonio Vargas. This movie is called Streetwalking. It's a very interesting movie about a young lady and her little brother comes from a small town. They make it to New York City, and you have to watch the rest of the movie. It's a fire must-see movie. So again, my 3 Eddie Murphy Award movies go to One Tough Cop, Tears of the Sun, and Streetwalking. Make sure y'all tap into those movies. Great watches, must-see movies, and tap into those each. Well, you got the rest of the week to tap into these. Shout out to Patrick, our dog Patrick in the building, one of our day ones in the building. Big badge holder in the building, one of our mods. So talk to me nice. He said, hey, Ash, I would love to see a movie about the 65th Infantry, about all the Puerto Rican soldiers who were put on the front lines in the Korean Wars and held down the North Korea and China. That's fire. That's fire. You may give me an idea for, Hollywood need to ask us. That's fire. I don't think that's an idea that's been like really tapped into. See, and this is why we have to understand placement when it comes to the tales of our country. We have to tell these stories because when we don't, people forget about people's contribution in the betterment of this country. Representation matters, believe it or not. That's why people get so invested into the Marvel movies, because they feel like there's some sort of representation that is safe to root for. It is safe to go against Thanos and all the other bad guys because they're the bad guys, right? That's safe, right? But when you start talking about real people from different ethnic groups having contributions, then people feel like because you're speaking about them and you're highlighting them, they make it seem like other people didn't do anything, right? But when you're highlighting them for a reason, right? Because they were significant in this war or thing that we're doing at this particular time. The story of this world takes more than one ethnic group. That's what makes it so great. So I love that. I love that idea. Shout out to my dog Patrick. Again, one of our day ones, one of our big bad told us, and one of our mods. So y'all better talk to me nice. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Shay. Great movie. Shout out to Fam. We got my dog Fam in the building. What up, my brother? Appreciate Fam in the building. Shay, binge watching, activated Ashley. Okay, I love that. Okay, I love that. My dog Fam, Street Walking is a good movie. That's a fire movie, right? That's a damn good movie. That movie came out in 1985 and it still holds up. Such a good movie. We need a true hip hop talk about East Coast and the Midwest South. The Midwest South in the West Coast. We do. Here's my thing, right? When we have these discussions and when we highlight these things, we can't have people feeling like, again, like how I said about, about the movies, right? When we highlight and talk about one aspect or coast and their contributions, it's not saying that this coast didn't contribute. We're saying that this coast did this coast did that, and it contributes to the overall of hip hop. So we have to be very honest with the conversation, and we can't have people so sensitive. Like even like I want to say a lot of Southern artists, because I live in the South, right? But I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised, right? Lived there damn near all my life except for the last 10 years, right? But the point that I'm making is when you in the South, artists from the South is not worried about artists from up north, right? Because artists from the South support each other. They worried about getting money. Artists from the North, like we worried about being great and just like having our skills up, right? But then you have some artists from the South who are famous that love to speak on artists from up north, like the contribution is not big. So we have to be honest with the conversation that we have when we have rap conversations. Nobody could feel like they're left out, or because we're highlighting them that that you wasn't great in your own right. There's other artists that most people don't even know of that is great musically, have amazing business acumen, sells out their shows, whether it's a small club, whether they're bars, but they selling out and they're able to pay bills, buy cars, send their kids to school, sell music out the trunk of their car. Amazing artists. So we have to be able to be truthful in that conversation. But I love that idea though, fam. Love that idea. Shout out to my dog Patrick in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. I just watched Best Beat Street for the 5th time the other day. Yo, Beat Street is time. It's time stamped, bro. It's a classic movie, But it's timestamp, bro. Like like B Street is timestamp. Like I was watching rapping like a couple weeks ago. I watched rapping. Y'all ever seen rapping? And rapping is, bro. I was laughing the whole movie watching rapping, and they in there rapping, but you got my dog. Dang, I can't think of his name, but my dude from New Jack City. Dang, I can't think of his name. But the guy that directed New Jack City and also co-starred, oh my God, I can't think of his name, but he was in rapping. He was the star in rapping. I forgot all about it. He's rapping. I'm like, yo, these bars, yo, somebody got a fault on these bars. The bars was like terrible. But without that movie, which contributed to the fame and the coverage of rap, which made other artists, like, you know what I'm saying, pop off. Like, it gave it, so all this stuff matters is the point that I'm making, right? Whether when we look at it now, it's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? When you listen to Rapper's Delight, it's like, whoo, that's terrible, right? But at the time, it was fly. At the time, it was a building block, even though Rapper's Delight wasn't the representation of hip hop. It was the exposure of hip hop, right? And now when you get like top tier talent, and you're like, oh, that's what the real rap sound like. Oh, they was just there to pretty much figurehead it and bring this on in a fun, safe way. So a lot of the things from the late '80s, excuse me, the late '70s, early '80s, it's like, whoo, that's tough. So B Street though, it's a good time, you know what I'm saying? But it's time stamped though. I ain't gonna hold you. It's time stamped. A lot of people, especially these kids nowadays, never seen B Street. But again, there's gonna be a point in time, believe it or not. I can't say that. I was gonna say 8 Mile, because that's top tier lyricism in 8 Mile. But y'all get the point that I'm making. Like as time go on, and the culture change and the industry change, certain things be just like, oh, somebody should have redid that verse. You know what I mean? But at the time, it was like, yo, we got, we see us on TV. Like, oh, all right, it's possible. Mario Van Peebles, I couldn't think of his name. It's Mario Van Peebles. He was the star of the movie Rapping, and they rapping the whole movie and dancing. It's like, it's crazy. I seen that like weeks ago. My favorite hip hop movie is Wild Style. Another movie was great for the time period, and without that movie, it's not a building block, right? Wild Style is a good time, you know what I'm saying? But it's time stamped, right? What we say the 4 pillars of hip hop, right? Graffiti, dance, DJing, and battling, right? All was in that movie, you know what I'm saying? It was a good time, good time. That was actually a good story. A good story, but without movies like that, we wouldn't get the 8 Miles and so on and so forth. And even other movies that was a hip hop movie, but it wasn't about hip hop. Like to me, Above the Rim is a hip hop movie, but ain't nobody dropping bars in that movie, but it's a hip hop movie. That soundtrack is crazy. But y'all get the point that I'm making. So without Wild Style, Beat Street, rapping, we wouldn't have, the 8 Miles and the other hip hop movies that came out after that. It's a part of the culture. Breaking was another old school movie. Yeah, Breaking is another one. Breaking 1, Breaking 2 have great moments, and it's a building block. It's a building block of hip hop for sure, for sure. But when you watch him now, it's like, it's kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, woo. Yeah. All right, y'all, moving on, y'all, moving on. All right, so I highlight our artists each and every episode. Got 3 Michael Jackson awards I want to give out. Shout out to the artist Kevin Ross, R&B singer. Y'all know I'm gonna highlight our artists, whether they new or old, hip hop and R&B. And tonight is Kevin Ross. And my 3 Michael Jackson awards of his songs go to the song number 1, Cruise. Number 3, Like I Do. Number 4, Hold On To Me. 3 fire songs that y'all must put on y'all playlist. Again, by Kevin Ross, R&B singer. These songs are absolute fire. So again, my first Michael Jackson award goes to his song, Cruise. That song is fire. Y'all gonna listen to that like 30 times in a row. Second song, Like I Do. Third song, Hold On To Me. So make sure y'all tap into those songs. Fire, fire music. All right, y'all. Y'all already know we're about to book those flights. About to get on the plane. And y'all already know, send them to turkey or nah. Send them to turkey or nah. Y'all already know the rules of the game. We type in T to send them to turkey, or we type in N not to send them to turkey. People that say and do crazy things, it's in the culture, and it is what it is. And again, shout out, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. And again, y'all, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and we right next to 13. So again, continue to support the show. I've been seeing the comments y'all believe in on videos. So again, I release videos daily, and I've been seeing those comments. So appreciate the support. Shout out to Cece, my dog Cece. What's happening, my brother? Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them 100s. You already know it helps with the growth of the show. I might get a t-shirt that says it helps with the growth of the show. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my quotables. All right, y'all. First, send them to turkey or nah. First, send them to turkey or nah. A homeowner waits till her roof was completed to call ICE to avoid a $10,000 bill from the company who happened to use quote unquote illegals. But yeah, she happened to wait till her roof was finished and completed to call ICE on the workers, so that way she could avoid the $10,000 bill. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Are we sending her to Turkey or no? Type in T to send it to Turkey, or type in N not to send it to Turkey. My dog Cece, I bet you wearing the Lakers Jordan 3s right now. No, I'm wearing the 9s. I'm wearing the Lakers 9s right now. I'm not going to put my feet in the air, pause. But I'm wearing the Lakers 9 right now. Yes. Yes, the Lakers 9s. Yes, if y'all look it up, Lakers 9s. It's fire. You know what I'm saying? Fire. Perfect. Perfect. My dog CC. My dog fam, Kevin Ross. God. God is a fire song. Okay, so that went down. God is a fire genius. Fire song. Yeah. Yo, Kevin Ross is fire, right? A lot of people will be sleeping on Kevin Ross. Again, there's a lot of great artists out here. Kevin Ross is one of them. Fire, yes. Facts. My dog fam is on business. Shout out to Shay. She said, that's messed up though. LOL. Yeah, I mean, me personally, it's like, I think the easy answer is to send this lady to Turkey, right? But strategically, that's like hella smart, right? You get people to fix your stuff, and you send, you know what I'm saying? You send the boys after them. That's what most people do in this country anyway. For every great gain, there's always been destruction of some at a expense of destruction of someone else. Every great gain in this country always came at the expense of somebody else. So with this in mind, I'm going to send it to Turkey because that was just grimy, right? But when you think of the history of the country, we're just talking about just this individual. But as a country, it happened throughout history where they use people for their time, for, you know, just for bodies. And once they all used up, you get rid of them, and they're able to do whatever they need to be done, whether it's to make money or to build a location. So with her doing that, should I send her to Turkey? Absolutely, because that's absolutely whack. But at the same time, in a grander in a grander scale, when we look at it, this happened throughout history. But I'm still going to send her to Turkey because that's still nasty work, in my opinion. Shout out to CC. Ash, the Lakers, Jordan Nods are pure. So he said them joints is pure fire. Appreciate that. Appreciate that borderline unfair gang. I appreciate that. I actually keep them in the tuck. You know what I'm saying? They stay in the tuck. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. I appreciate that though, CC. Fair. Sent to Turkey. Yeah, like again, I have to sell the turkey because that is grimy. Calling ICE to avoid a $10,000 bill is nasty work. But we mad at this individual, but we don't get mad at the system, right? So, you know, all in itself, I'm still sending her the turkey. It's still nasty work. And the video went viral, which is crazy because as they're finishing up the roof, you see the ICE agents pull up to the house, which is just beyond bonkers to me. So I'm still sending her the turkey regardless though. All right, y'all, moving on to our next one. Send them the turkey or nah, send them the turkey or nah. A 33-year-old man, Gustavo de Jesus, in New York City, in New York City, robs 6 Chase banks and only gets $605 from all in total. Again, 33-year-old Gustavo de Jesus in New York City robs 6 Chase banks only to receive or only to get $605 for all the robberies in total. So again, are we sending him the turkey or not? Are we sending him the turkey or not? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Send him the turkey. My dog Patrick said karma is a bitch. That is a fact. Sometimes you don't even have to react to people. Karma just be waiting on them. Soon as they hit the corner, karma be right there. Like, yo, watch out, man. I got this. Watch out. I got this. It's cool. It's cool. I know you was planning to get him, but it's cool. I got it. Karma is serious. I don't play with karma. I don't play with karma, bro. No. Again, I do my best to do right by myself and do right by other people because we all not perfect, correct? But at the end of the day, there's a little thing called karma, and it just be waiting on the side for you. And as soon as you think you're going to get away, I remember one time in the summer, having a good time, night is popping, I'm feeling good, got my people with me, and we just, you know what I'm saying, we out, you know what I'm saying, we just making moves. I'm at a party, yeah, we about to shake the spot, baby, and I don't want to say where, you feel what I'm saying, but I was backing up, and I hit somebody's motorcycle. I used to drive a truck at the time. I had, a nice little truck, you know what I'm saying, but I backed into somebody's motorcycle. I was like, damn. I even got out the car to see how the motorcycle was. It was leaning. I was like, damn. Now, mind you, my truck was way more expensive than the motorcycle, but that's beside the point. It's just grimy, right? So I'm like, damn. Like, and it got up out of there, right? So, and I thought I had like dodged one, right? So about 2 years later, when I moved to Florida, right? I go cop me, you know what I'm saying, the new Benz. You know what I'm saying? I tell y'all, I go cop me the new Benz. You know what I'm saying? I'm hyped. You feel me? Go cop that, right? You know what I'm saying? Get to the house, cool. Pulled out. Soon as I was pulling out, because I went back home to show, my daughter and my ex at the time. So I gotta hit the street a little bit. You know what I'm saying? See this white Benz I got, big body, right? So there's another car coming this way, and another car was turning. I'm waiting to turn on the other side. I'm not even moving. That car hit that car. That car hit that car. And what you think this car did? It hit mine's waiting to turn. And mind you, I could not move because you know how when you turn out of a lane, there's like the pillar over here and the pillar over here. So I could not turn anywhere. And then I had cars behind me, so I couldn't back that thing up. Bah! And I thought about to that summer on where I was at and hit that dude in, his motorcycle. I was like, yo, karma is serious. So again, don't play with karma. Karma is real. So going back to that lady that called ICE on these people. Shout out to the chat, Turkey for stupidity. If you rob 6 banks and only get $600, that is nasty work. Are you the one who hit my motorcycle? Yeah, nah. See, I didn't even say where it was. So nope, nah. See, I didn't even say where it was. All I said I was in New York, and y'all know New York got 5 boroughs. So I didn't even say where I was. That I said that specifically because, you know what I'm saying? Boy got knowledge, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this dude is absolutely not a smart individual. Gustavo de Jesus, who robbed 6 Chase banks and only gets $605. Now, mind you, I don't think people know this, but banks don't carry the amount of money that you would think banks carry on a day-to-day basis, right? They have the actual money and they have funny money in there. Now, when you need to get real cash from the bank, that most people that would take penitentiary chances, right? So, for example, I'm not saying you should go rob a bank, but if you are, when you rob a bank, you would want to get at least 250 of them things. It's a penitentiary chance here. You're going to do time if you get caught. So at bare minimum, you're trying to get 250. Now, if you actually had 250 in the bank and went to get 250 in the bank, you would know that you had to call ahead because most banks have to reserve that amount for one specific person. Most banks do not carry an exorbitant amount of money in the bank. That's why they have account managers. Hey, yo, you trying to get some money today? You trying to get how much today? Yeah, now we can give you about 10 today. You come back and you get the other 15. You get that as early as tomorrow, but you're trying to walk out with 35? Yeah, nah, you got to call in advance to the account manager who makes sure that we have enough money for one person. So for somebody to rob these amount of banks, not doing the proper research, and now you're going to do penitentiary time over money you could have just got on the job. That's 9 to 5 right there. Like 600. Like what are we doing? 6 banks, $600. The math ain't mathing. So he's not a smart individual. He's going to do time. They got him all on tape. I mean, they got him dead to rights. It just looks crazy. It looks crazy. And I know he feels crunchy. I know he does. And even if he said, all right, I'm just going to get the actual, the actual ATMs in itself. The ATMs don't carry much money neither. It's a limit in those ATM things on purpose. Just in case if people try to steal it, they only walk away with like $2,000. It's limited on purpose. So we have to do better, especially if we're going to engage in criminal activities. If you're going to take a real penitentiary chance, which I don't advise. I don't advise anybody to contribute to jail culture. But if you're going to because you feel like that's what you need to do, $600? $600 from one bank is enough to say, I'm not good at this. I'm not. Let me put the gun down and pick up a laptop and go look for a job. From one bank. 600 from 6. Yeah, he was jailed for stupidity, for sure. For sure. Shout out to the chat. If he would have did his homework, he would have hit the bank when they collect the money. Shout out to fam. Uh, Shout out to Patrick. I worked at Chase in Manhattan, in Times Square 20 years ago. The most we carried was 1.6 in cash. And this is New York City. 1.6 in cash. Mind you, now, am I lying when I say if y'all had a customer that was picking up 100 grand, they would have to let y'all know in advance because that 1.6 in cash is supposed to last for New York City on freaking Times Square, 34th Street. Well, that's 34th Street, right? Times Square or 42nd. No, 42nd is 42nd. Times Square, right? You know how many people go through Times Square? Just zit, 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 zit. So 1.6 is like having 200,000 at your local bank. And even that, you have to call ahead to get over 12K in cash. He wasn't thinking. Appreciate that, Patrick. Appreciate that, Patrick. I thank you for the reference because he gave us a great reference point. Shout out to CC. His nickname going to be 600 in the pen. Yo, they're going to clown him. Yo, for real, I'm roasting him all day. If I'm inside, I'm roasting him all day. I'm roasting him all day. This over. They roasted Patrick. ATMs carry about 20 to 40K in the bank location. 20 to 40K. Right, but most ATMs in other like side locations, meaning like at your local stores, I wouldn't say banks, but at your local stores, colleges, like ATMs, those carry probably at max, depending on the area, 2 to 4K, the max for sure. But the bank in itself in New York City, because you gotta remember, New York City don't operate on the same type of time everywhere else operate, right? 42nd Street is 42nd Street. If y'all know, y'all know. If y'all ever been to 42nd Street, the amount of people that's on 42nd Street, it's crazy. So for them to not have at least 1.6 in cash is criminal because they're going to be reloading that thing all day long. But when we talk about worldwide, right, you talk about Florida, Atlanta, you talk about Kansas, the Midwest, like it's just certain places. The average ATM carries 2 to 4 grand because believe it or not, most ATMs, I'm not even gonna go into that, but I'm gonna just let y'all sit on that one. Pause. But I know Patrick know because he worked for the banking some time ago. Shout out to fam. Retail ATMs, convenience stores, gas stations typically hold 10 to 20 in cash. You talking about ATMs or just them in itself? Not ATMs. Not ATMs, because what I wasn't gonna say, most ATMs that are in gas stations and convenience stores, they're not owned by the bank. They privately owned. Yeah. Those ATMs are privately owned. So a lot of those ATMs don't carry no more than 2 to 4 grand. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. I know y'all know too. I know y'all know too. I'm not saying y'all don't know. I know y'all know too, but I know too. I know too. 2 to 4 grand. And it also depends on the machine model. And if that machine model fits that convenience store. So it's the difference between your local gas station to like racetrack or something like that. So if you got something in racetrack, then that ATM might carry 5 to 8 grand, right? But somewhere like 7-Eleven gas station, it's gonna be about 2 to 4 grand in them ATMs, and they're privately owned. So trust me, I know. Usually stocked with $20 bills. Bank owned ATMs hold significantly more than 50,000. Right. So those ATMs are at the bank for sure. But they have to do them in a particular way. And each state is also different. When we talk about New York City obviously is going to carry more money in them ATMs because you just have more people. Shout out to Yellow in the building. We got my dog Yellow in the building. ATMs also have GPS. Patrick, 42nd. Yeah, 42nd. It's Times Square. I always confuse Times Square and I was gonna say Union Square, but Union Square is 14th. What is 34th Street? Penn Station, right? So Times Square, 42nd, 34th is Penn Station. 42nd to West 42nd Street. Shout out to Yellow, go Bucks. But you see my Michigan, right? Yeah, my Michigan University, we the best university out here. Hockey, football, basketball. You see it. Stop playing. Stop playing. I'm telling you, we won the championship. Good luck. I'm just talking, bro. I'm talking my talk, bro. If we win the championship, I'm talking my talk. No Ohio State fan can say nothing to me. I'm roasting all day long. Since we've been in the tournament, all my friends who happen to be Buckeyes, it's been quiet. I'm like, hey, bro, wait, I gotta go, Ash. I'm gonna see you later. Oh, that's how we doing it. Oh, when y'all won the chip, oh, y'all had all the time to talk. Oh, okay. I see what it is. All right. But karma, we talked about karma, right? I'm gonna be sitting, waiting over here like a security guard, like karma, just waiting for my turn if we win, with a big Kool-Aid smile. I'll probably send them all Michigan hats, you know what I'm saying? Let them feel what it's like to be a winner, you know what I'm saying? Just something, you know what I mean? Just something to think about, you know what I mean? Casino ATMs typically hold 50,000 to 200,000 in cash. True, through high traffic machines, major strips can potentially hold 800 in extreme cases. Yeah, but majority they hold that money in cash for sporting. But you're absolutely right when it comes to those ATMs in those casinos, places like Vegas, places like New Orleans. Yeah, for sure, absolutely for sure, absolutely. But that's the last place you want to go and they feel like you're gonna pull a caper off. Is in a casino. Casino. They play casino rules, baby. You ain't going to jail. Somebody gonna be calling your mama for a black dress. For real. You play with them casinos. Trust me. I know. They looking real good. Can't lie. I know that hurt, right? Anytime Ohio fan gotta say something good about Michigan, I know it hurt the heart a little bit. I know it hurt me too when I see y'all do y'all thing. I'm like, damn. But I'd rather see y'all win than watch the SEC. I will say that. I will say that. I tell my Ohio State friends that all the time. I'd rather see y'all win than any team from the SEC. Shout out to Yellow, he laughing. Fam, Arizona and Illinois in it, calling it right now. Bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. You're not gonna stop this train. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna stop this train. I'm telling you, when we win, I'm gonna be smiling from ear to ear, and ain't nothing. Nobody gonna be able to say nothing. Nothing. I have a friend that every year, when we win the championship my Chiefs, every year we win the championship, like every year he was like, but that's what y'all did last year, and then we'll win the current year. Like, you keep talking about last year, what we did last year, and what we're supposed to do now. It's like, what we talking about? Like, we keep winning, right? Now, this year that we didn't win, now he like, yo, so what's up with your Chiefs? We gonna be back. Same thing with my Michigan, you know what I'm saying? I'm cheesing from ear to ear, you know what I mean? Yo, that Duke versus UConn game was crazy. It was. I thought Duke had that game hands down, even to the last minute and a half. I thought they had that locked down, but they made a crazy comeback. Duke for the half 15 whole game, lost final seconds. Yeah, that was a good game. Shout out to Yellow. I can't talk my talk about basketball team, unfortunately. Yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as you admit, you know what I'm saying? It's cool. You know, it's always cool. Keep it cool. You know what I'm saying? Just as long as you show the proper love. You know what I'm saying? At any point in time, you can always kiss the ring, bro. Pause. You know what I'm saying? In a sports manner. You know what I'm saying? We get rings over here in all sports. You know what I mean? Shout out to who that, May? Shout out to May. We got May in the building. Shalom, brother. I see you're still shining. Have a blessed night. Appreciate that, May. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Thank you for showing major love. And don't forget, y'all drop videos daily. So make sure y'all tap into those videos and throw the comments in the videos as well. My dog fam, that Michigan train is over. Enjoy the fun now. Bro, come on, man. Like, when we win our next game, right? I think I'm gonna start this show with a smile. And I probably won't say anything for like the first 60 seconds. Just looking at the camera, hoping that you did when I open up the show. And you know who was it too. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the Michigan train is over. Bro, have you seen us? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? What Martin saying that like don't make me crack up. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Ring culture do matter. You feel me? Shout out to my dog Cece. You know what I'm saying? Point out to the ring. We rock rings over here. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen Arizona? Great team. Great team. But they have weaknesses. For sure. For sure. Great team. What do Arizona do that limits Michigan? If you've seen us play. What do they do that limits Michigan? Not what they do to other teams. What can they do to Michigan? You know what I'm saying? It's different over here. You know what I'm saying? It's different levels to this. You know what I'm saying? We used to this over here. You feel me? It's cool. Keep it cool. You know what I'm saying? But again, next game, when we win, I'm going to start the show with a smile. I'll probably make a sign of a smile. How about them apples? And just, throughout the show, I just throw up the sign, smile, you know what I'm saying, with the sign. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do. When we win, I'm going to make a sign of a smile. And when y'all come in, y'all know what the smile going to be for. It's going to be about my Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Just because y'all say that we not going to the finals, you know what I'm saying? Just because y'all say that. So just be prepared, because I'm kind of petty, you know what I'm saying? I'm 50 Cent level petty. We share the same birthday month. We Kansas. I'm petty, you know what I'm saying? I'm King Petty. So it's going to be a good time, you know what I'm saying? I hope. I don't hope that, but just wait. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. Michigan has the height that's the advantage they have over every team. Just height? That's just one thing we have. We're not going to shoot no team out of the gym, but you can't leave us open. Our pick and roll game is strong. Our one-on-one game is strong. Our post-up is strong. Our pick and pop is strong. Our leadership is strong. Our defense. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all see it. Y'all see it. Our leadership is on a whole nother level. Y'all see it though, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad y'all talking it up, you know what I'm saying? Again, Arizona's your king, right? What did bro tell the rest of the family about T'Challa? This is your king, right? Cool. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? That's what Killmonger asked the family. This your king? And what Killmonger do to T'Challa? Threw him off the cliff. That's your king, right? You feel me? We ain't talking about the end of the movie. We talking about right there. That's your king, right? Cool. You know what I'm saying? Just keep that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Told you, I'm going to be Big King Petty when we do this thing. I'm petty like Donald Trump. Yeah, that's hella petty, but I'm that level petty too. You know what I'm saying? That's you know what I'm saying? I'm Petty Pendergrass. Wakanda forever. All right, y'all, moving on to our next segment. Y'all already know what time it is. It's time to rap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get the finest of movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, that's Button Snaps. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. That's the word button, hyphenated sign, and the word snaps.com. First hot topic of the night in Time to Rap. Question. How scary can fake friends be in your life? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. How scary can fake friends be in your life? Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. And the reason why I ask this, whether it's personal or whether I see it on social media, as we get older, we have to recognize the signs on people who are fake friends. And the reason why that matters as we get older, because we have to pinpoint what works and what don't work in our life, right? You ever recognize that so-called friend? Every time something negative happened to you, they're smiling like, yo, for real? Like this, like they always kind of like giddy, but when something positive happened, they're nowhere to be found. They're nowhere near to congratulate you. They're not happy for you as they will be happy for themselves, right? Then they're not proud. They just like, oh, all right. Or they say something like, yeah, how that's working for you, right? Having fake friends and realizing you have fake friends can be very detrimental. That's a very scary thing, because just because you see somebody a certain way, that don't mean they look at you with that same type of ilk and essence. I have a big thing when I call my friends. If I'm always constantly calling my friends, then they're not really my friend. They're not friends. They're not checking on me. They're not seeing if I'm out, am I okay, if my mental space is good. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful in how we recognize friendships, because we see it every day, whether it's social media, whether in real life, that people go through things daily and you're wondering like, damn, they didn't have no backup, but ain't y'all friends? Yeah, nah, that's just somebody I chill with from time to time. And it's like, when did we come to that part of the culture? Like, I've seen it in women, like not all women, but some women, in some friend groups I've seen it in, where, you know, I would meet a woman at the club and she's with like, you know, 4 or 5 girls or whatever. I was like, yo, yeah, you know, you and your friends, oh, they ain't my friends. I just needed somebody to come outside with. I'm like, oh, all right. But having fake friends can be very scary because you don't know their intentions. That's why that's scary. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, fake friends do break their word. Fake friends is not even adult enough to be accountable. A real friend is accountable. When somebody calls you family, that word family to me is like, I put a lot of emphasis on that word family. A lot of emphasis. There's a difference between my relatives and my family. People like, what? I say, yeah, big difference. I have first cousins that I have a couple first cousins that I met for the first time at my father's funeral. And at the time, like, I was like 33. Met them for the first time. And I don't think me and any of my first cousins speak on a regular basis at all. The last time I spoke to any of my first cousins was at a funeral. And the last funeral I went to was my father's back in 2018. That's the last time I spoke to a first cousin on my father's side. Last time I spoke to a first cousin on my mother's side, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So again, that word relative and family is two different things. And when you include people as your friends, you treat them like family, right? When you say it, you don't say, yeah, this is my friend. You're like, yo, that's my bro, that's my cousin. We treat people like family, but that word is so double-loaded. When people hear that word family, they feel like they could use that to disrespect you by not taking you serious, or because you hold them accountable and they don't reciprocate. So having fake friends, that's something that could be absolutely very scary, absolutely deadly. We've seen it all the time. I watched a movie the other day, and it was a part of a true story where the lady contributed to 6 young women getting abducted, gaped, and murdered. Or unalived, excuse me, unalived. And she was supposed to be a friend. But the people that was doing it was a fake friend to her. They didn't really, that wasn't their friend. That's just somebody that they could use to get what they needed in that transaction. And that's an extreme case. But think of on a smaller level that people use people with that word friendship and that word family to get something out of you. And when you don't give it, you can see how scary it can be. So that's why I asked that question. How scary can fake friends be? Shout out to the chat. Show major love. Again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. A former NBA Pat Bev says that James Harden is a better overall player than Dwayne Wade. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Now, Dwayne Wade has responded. He basically said, if you wasn't as good as him, then you can't speak on it. Which I disagree wholeheartedly. That's borderline idiotic. I get the point that he's making, but it's still borderline idiotic. The conversation in itself, when it comes to sports, you don't have to play a sport to be able to see what people can do. You didn't have to play in the league to know if somebody jumps higher than the next person, or jumps faster than the next person, or shoots better than the next person. You can just watch the game. And I'm not talking about the stat line. I'm not talking about, oh, he shot 48% or he shot 52%. Yeah, if you watch the game and the way somebody maneuvers and shoots, you could tell if somebody's a better shooter. You could tell if somebody's a better dunker. You don't need to play in the NBA or had to play in the NBA to be able to judge it. Now, Pat Bev is a defensive player, known for being a defensive player in the NBA. In college and high school, he was, believe it or not, if y'all do y'all research, probably the craziest scorer you've ever heard, especially when it comes to that stat line. Pat Bev averaged buckets in high school and college, like on a whole nother level. Played in the same NBA as James Harden and Dwayne Wade. So I disagree with Dwayne Wade on the aspect where you have to be just as good as him to be able to judge who's better between him or James Harden. That's idiotic. I don't agree with that at all. But I do agree that Dwayne Wade is a better player than James Harden. I didn't play in the NBA. I don't have to play in the NBA or had to play in the NBA. I played all my life, but I don't have to. I didn't have to play in the NBA to see who was the better ball handler, who was the better dunker, who was the better defender, who was the better shooter, and who was the better winner. I didn't have to play in the NBA to see that. In my opinion, I think James Harden could do more scoring overall, more in scoring. He's not as good as Dwayne Wade in the post. He's not as good as Dwayne Wade when it comes to blowing by a player. He's not as good as Dwayne Wade when it comes to scoring contested shots and efficiency scoring. And Dwayne Wade's 30 means more than James Harden 30. I didn't have to play in the NBA to see or to say that. Dwayne Wade played more important basketball. It wasn't empty calories. Dwayne Wade was a known closer. Like I'm not here to bash LeBron James. LeBron James is a great player. He's a top 5 player in any NBA conversation. In any NBA conversation, I wouldn't take your list seriously if LeBron James is not in your top 5. But he went to the Miami Heat to get that championship glow. He turned up with Miami, but without Dwayne Wade, they don't win those chips because Dwayne Wade was the closer. Dwayne Wade was the big brother. Dwayne Wade played important basketball and know what important basketball looked like. So that's something he taught LeBron James. How many people has James Harden taught about important basketball? I didn't have to play in the NBA to figure that out, right? So again, in my opinion, when you talk about the best 2 guards of all time, is there a conversation for 1 and 2? No, right? But we're talking about 3, 4, and 5. And I think when we get to 3, 4, and 5, I think people lists get different. Me personally, I have T-Mac. T-Mac is my number 3. T-Mac at his best, I'm taking him over any and everybody else except for Kobe and MJ. That next 2 guard, I have Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Dwayne Wade healthy, unstoppable. Defends when he needs to defend. Offensively, unstoppable. He didn't have the crazy deep bag. He can dribble, but his not crazy bag work. He's getting to his spot and he's getting a bucket. He didn't need the bag work. Most guys that have bad bag work have lack of physical ability. That's just what it is. Most guys that have bag work develop bag work because they're not as physically gifted. Yeah. Kyrie Irving, probably one of the deepest bags ever in NBA history. He's not physically gifted with 6'7". He's not physically gifted being one of the fastest people on the court. That's why he's more deceptive, more quick. That's why he can get to his spot. He know how to use his handle to get to a spot no matter how tall the defender is. He knows how to get into your body because he's not physically Vince Carter. He's not physically Michael Jordan. He's not physically Kobe Bryant. That's why you have bag work. Jamal Crawford. Baguito. He's 6'5", but he's not as fast as Latrell Sprewell or Michael Jordan. He's not as fast, but he's quick, and he knows how to use that 6'5" to create separation and to create a jump shot. And mind you, his jump shot was developed in the NBA. He wasn't a great jump shooter like that. I wonder what school Jamal Crawford came from. I know the answer to that. I just want to see what the chat would say. Deep bag work. So again, when you think about James Harden, he has deep bag work for sure. James Harden is a great player, but he doesn't have the physical space to blow by guys. He could get to his spot, but again, he used the bag to get off. Pause. That sounds crazy. That sounds crazy, right? But he used his bag to get into his spots. But in my opinion, Dwayne Wade played more important basketball than James Harden, in my opinion. And in my opinion, James Harden could score 50 and the Rockets will still lose. Dwayne Wade, if he scored 50, the Miami Heat is winning by 20. If he scored 34, the Miami Heat is winning. So his points mattered more because it was more important basketball, in my opinion. So I have Dwayne at number 4. I'm not sure if I have Harden at 5, but I definitely have T-Mac at 3, Wade at 4. And some people are like, yo, how you got T-Mac at 3 and he ain't win no chip? Because to me, T-Mac at his best, mind you, he got hurt too. But at his best, there's only 2 other people I'm taking before him. 2 other people. That's it. And we know who those other 2 are. We know who they are. So, T-Mac, Wade, That fifth, I don't think I even have Harden there. I don't have Iverson because Iverson is not a two guard. He's a point guard. He just gets buckets. He scores buckets at a high clip. He's a point guard. I hate that when people like to classify Iverson as a point guard. If you're going to classify Iverson as a point guard, you're going to do the same thing with Kyrie. You're going to do the same thing with Steph. You're going to do the same thing with Stephon Marbury. You're going to do the same thing with Damian Lillard. No, you're not. He's a point guard. But he played with Eric Snow. So what? Eric Snow was 6'4". Who did Eric Snow guard on defense? Eric Snow guard two guards. He guarded the two guards on defense. Who Iverson guarded on defense? He guarded point guards. Who guarded Iverson on defense? Point guards. They wasn't guarding Eric Snow. Point guards was guarding Iverson. Because even though Eric Snow wasn't the scorer like Allen Iverson, you couldn't put a smaller player on Eric Snow because he was also sizey and had a decent post game. That's not something I'm going to argue about because that's something I seen night in, night out, watching him as I was growing up. But when Iverson came into the league, who did he play with? Jerry Stackhouse. That was the two guard. When he went to Denver, who did he play with? J.R. Smith. He was the two guard. So I don't have Iverson at the two. He's a point. He just gets extremely immense amount of buckets. He's the question and the damn answer. Shout out to the chat. I toss Allen Iverson in the mix as well. Bag work was filthy. Yeah. See, and the statement I just said, it wasn't even to you, CC. I'm just looking at the comment. That wasn't even to you. That wasn't even to you. That's just me throwing my two guard because I know people like to throw Allen Iverson at the two guard. But me, I don't have him there. But Allen, come on, man. You had to be there. You know what I'm saying? You had to be there. Allen Iverson was box office. You had to be there. In my closet right now, I have about 4 different Allen Iverson jerseys right now. Right now. And every time I wear one, I have the matching sneakers to go with it for each jersey. You had to be. It was a different time. It's a different time. I'm still looking for Stephon Marbury jerseys because that's my favorite NBA player of all time. And every time I find a Stephon Marbury jersey, it's either too damn big or too damn small. And you know what's crazy? Stephon Marbury follows me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Steph, show some love. You know what I'm saying? I slide you some dollars for the jersey, bro. You feel me? You feel me? Damn, I want that Phoenix, and I want that Timberwolves. Fire jerseys, bro. Fire jerseys. He's my favorite NBA basketball player of all time, and I don't have one jersey because I couldn't find my size. Everybody else I got. Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, everybody else I got. T-Mac. The Timberwolves one is that Timberwolves one is fueguito. You know what I'm saying? On a whole nother level, whether it's blue or black. Fire jerseys. Fire. Swaguito on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And I try Mitchell and Ness, and their stuff like they will only have like the gray Nets. I don't like the gray Nets old school jersey. I can't stand that gray Nets jersey. I like the navy blue Nets jersey from back in the day. They just got the gray one. It's like Mitchell and Ness, get it together, man. But yeah, so again, I agree with Dwayne Wade in the sense where he feels like he's better than James Harden. He felt like he was the best player on the court at all times. He don't feel like nobody was better than him. And when he was healthy, he definitely has an argument for that, for sure. So comparing him to James Harden, I think that's really unfair to Dwayne Wade and his legacy based on what he's been able to accomplish. Now, if you're saying he can do more, that James Harden can do more offensively, yeah, there's something to be said about that. Yeah, for sure. But Dwayne Wade is way more dominant at what he could do, getting to the cuff, being efficient, and changing the game with his scoring. People like, yeah, what's the difference? The difference is Jokic. Jokic can do more than Shaq in scoring. He can shoot it from the top of the key. He can shoot threes, and he can give you post work. But Shaq is more dominant. He gets his spot, spin, back you down, throw one of them elbows, and he's doing that for all 4 quarters. You're not going to last. More dominant than Wayne Wade is more dominant. So I don't think that's fair. But I disagree with Dwayne Wade when he says that, oh, you had to play in the NBA or had to be better than him to really judge that. That's idiotic, bro. Cut it out. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Some women, social media, some women believe that corn. I get what I'm going with this, right? Some women on social media believe that corn is the reason why most men is not approaching women anymore. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Again, social media, you have some women that believe that corn is the reason why that most men is no longer approaching women. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Yeah, so let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Me personally, another idiotic thing that you see going on in social media space, that you have some women, obviously this is not all, but some women is speaking up and saying, yeah, guys rather please themselves than, they rather do them than to come outside and meet us and that yada, yada, yada. I said this several shows ago. People that complain about dating is people who are limited. And what I mean by that is this. They don't feel right within themselves. So they blame other aspects on their own limited experiences dealing with people. So at the end of the day, like, if you got your mind together, you got your money together, you got your body together, you're not worried about lack of opportunities. You got all of this in tune. When you walk outside, whether you're going to the club, whether you run into the bank, whether you run into the grocery stores, you're going to have somebody that's looking at you and say, hey, or you're going to get that eye contact. You're going to see interest. You're going to feel interest. You're just not getting the interest from the person that you want, but you're going to get interest. But people that got their stuff together, they're going to get interest from people that they want, though. So when people are limited, they complain about the lack of opportunities because they're trying to create more opportunities based on take me as I am mentality. And we're no longer in that space. You got some women who's not in that space mentally. There's no more take me as I am. I'm not going to be the woman that's going to tell a man, take me as I am. I'm going to improve myself. I'm going to do this better. I'm going to do that better. Men, by and large, is more in the gym, working out, focus on their finances, mainly because our big brothers, our dads, grandfathers, uncles, a father figure, brother figure, we've seen some of their struggles who are married and they're not getting the rewards of being married. We no longer take our leadership from pastors who says, basically, he who finds him a wife finds himself a good thing. But pastor, you got outside marital relationships. First lady never here. And you say happy wife, happy what? Happy life. What about my life? If I'm miserable and she happy, that don't mean nothing. So now we're in a space where you have these limited people that's making it bigger than what it is, making it a gender war. You don't hear people who got their mind right, body right, complaining about lack of opportunities. You don't hear them. Now, you may hear the quality of people, but There's people. And I'm not talking about from a sexual standpoint. I'm talking about from a standpoint somebody that you want to meet and build with mentally, being on the same page. Because the physical aspect, that's cool and all, but that's only going to go but so far. You got to have the same type of values and same type of understanding and growth process, meaning like, okay, you think like this one day, but now that you have added research, you update what you think in your growth, right? And that's also an aspect too, because what do most people say after you've been with them for several years? Oh, you done changed. Oh my God, you're not the same person I met. Yeah, I grew. Yeah. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you. I'm not the same person that I was 4 years ago. So that growth aspect has to be a part of the person that you're choosing too. So again, when people say this, these blanket statements, corn is the reason why guys is not approaching women. Idiotic. In today's age, guys are not watching more corn than ever, even though we have internet. Guys are not watching more corn than ever. You know why? Because the corn industry is not even the same. The corn industry, actors used to make a whole living, 6 figures, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It works differently now. They make less movies. Now they got AI. Now they got to compete with AI. Imagine being a corn worker, right? And the industry no longer the same. It's like, damn, like we used to get like 10,000 a pop. Now 5,000, now 2,000. Damn, I got to start OnlyFans to make ends meet. And now all of a sudden they got AI corn workers. Now I got to compete with AI. Like what's going on? So people are watching less corn than ever before. But now you find something to blame because you're limited. That's why some people complain about, oh, you like younger or you like older. Hey, what are we talking about? If you got your shit going on, you're not worrying about what the next person got going on because you on your business, you on your game. So only limited people complain about dating. This is just another limited person that was complaining about dating. Simple and plain. To blame corn is crazy. So this age of men is the only men that ever watch corn. And this age of men is watching less corn than ever. You got other guys telling other guys, yo, don't pleasure yourself, which is very weird. Guys, if you do that, don't do that. That's one of the weirdest things to tell another man to do is, yo, don't touch yourself. Huh? What I do don't make you do. Don't worry about what I do. Do you? That's one of the weirdest things that I hear. But guys feel, I don't want to say guys, some guys on the internet feel comfortable telling their base that mainly because most guys for real is not doing, like they not watching corn like that. So to blame it on corn is ridiculous. And the girl that said it, yo, you need self-improvement. You got to get your mental together. You got to get your body together. And you got to make sure your finances is together. And the reason why that matter, even though men, we don't pick women based on finances, but you have to have something for yourself. Can't be no bum. Can't be no bum. Have to have something for yourself. Have to have something going on for yourself. And when you do that, you're not going to blame corn. The men in the olden days, they watched corn. They had families on this side. They had family on that side and came home back to the original family. So what are we talking about? It's just a limited mindset. It's a loser's mindset to blame one thing based on your failures. And your failures is yours. It's not everybody else. It's yours. It's individual based. Shout out to the chat. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers and we right next to 13. So make sure y'all take advantage and take advantage of the memberships. We got quite a few of the members in here. Shout out to my dog Cece. I heard they were working on robots too to fulfill those needs is crazy work. It's a crazy world. It's not a crazy world. It's not. Like let's keep it real. We've been seeing robots and all these capabilities since the 80s, right? And when we watch these movies, right? And they had robots for all these different things, and like, yeah, in 2003, and mind you, back in the 80s, something in 2003. Oh, that's futuristic, baby. We in 2026. Of course, we got that. We got all types of stuff. We got all types of stuff. And people are going to do them. But when you're on top of your game, when you feel like you have something to offer, not feel like you have something to offer, when you do have something to offer, not just your pockets, your mentality, your lifestyle. Sometimes people don't understand the value of your value until they get around you on a daily basis. And then they no longer use these little misnomers, or this is why I'm not successful in this. You're not successful in this because you don't put in the work. You're taking it as a take me as I am mentality. When the person that you want is not going to take you as you are. Think about this for a second, right? You as an individual, whether you're a man or a woman, right? Would you want your children to date you? And y'all know what I mean by that. Obviously, you're not dating your children. Meaning, would you want your children to date somebody with your qualities, both man and woman, right? So again, if you can't say yes, then you got to work on, and you can't limit yourself by making ridiculous statements like that, because you tell on yourself. You're saying I am limited. That's what you're screaming out when you're saying that. That's what some of the women are saying. That's what some of the guys are saying this. I am limited as F. Because people that got it popping ain't complaining about their opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities now. They're going to complain about the quality, but the opportunity will definitely be there. For sure. For sure. Shout out to my dog Cece. Come on, Ash. Not like today, fair. We got walking. We got walking T800s from Skynet. I'm saying though, like at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, all this shit is basic human connection. I know he cracking jokes, right? But all this shit is basic human connection. Stop robbing yourself of human connection by blaming shit that you know that you have to improve on. I don't understand how women, or some women, could say, I'm not being approached because of this thing, because guys are watching porn, or because guys are sassy, or guys don't want to be looked at as weirdos. No guy wants to be looked at as a weirdo. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. And guys, I want you to know this too, right? Let's keep it real. When a guy approach you, he's only a weirdo is because you don't like him or you don't find him attractive. But if a guy finds you attractive, you're not going to say he's a weirdo. Obviously, from what this lady is saying, she wants somebody to approach her. But if it's a guy that she don't like, she's going to call him a weirdo. But if it's a guy that she's feeling, she's going to give him them drawers tonight like McDonald's and with fries on the side. Like, let's keep it all the way real. So we got to stop blaming these misnomers. Oh, guys are doing this and guys are doing that. Like, yo, if you're on top of your game, focus on being on top of your game, being the best version of yourself. You create opportunities. And the most popping thing about it, right? The most popping thing about dating, you don't have to be popping to date. You don't. You have to accept what level you at. The reason why I say that, I live in Florida. I've also lived in New York all my life. I've seen the homeless dudes walk down the street with nowhere to go with the big backpack, pushing the cart. And guess what? They got a chick with them. They not popping. They don't even got a home. They don't got no car. They don't got no motion but the movement of that cart. And they going from one spot to the next. and he got a whole chick with him. What's the excuse there? There's none. And that's the beautiful thing about dating. If you be the best version of yourself and date where you're supposed to date, you'll find yourself success. You don't need the supermodel. You don't need the 6'8" dude. You don't need that. You like the way it look. But even the package that even a person that's coming in that package may not match your values, and you're limiting your dating pool. So again, don't use these misnomers, especially to the women in that video that I saw the other day that went viral, and that lady in this up in particular. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. R&B singer Sammy, his children, well, his son's mother is catching backlash after a porch cam, caught her leaving the baby that's still in the cradle, in the car seat, leaving him on the porch. She rings the doorbell. She didn't wait for nobody to come to the door. She rang the doorbell, left the son on the porch, got in her car, and drove off. Like, she didn't wait till somebody come to the door to even drive off. Like, she put the cradle down, bam, got in the car, drove off. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. There's multi-levels to this. Multi-levels to this. As a parent. And mind you, there's another caveat that I left out. It was 38 degrees outside. 38 degrees. Yeah, it's 38 degrees outside. Now, as a parent, when you have children with somebody and you're no longer together, and people like to talk about the adult talk, right? I'm an adult. I'm a grown. I'm the adult in the room. Be adult enough to handle your shit. And a part of handling your shit is being able to deal with the person that you had a child with. Whether you like them or don't like them, like, at the end of the day, like, this is your child. Who does that? Who does that? You have that much hate for somebody. You don't want to see that person that much that you would leave your child in 38-degree weather. And mind you, it took minutes for Sammy to come to the door, mainly because it wasn't like a visit. It was just like out of the blue. He get a text message from the baby mother allegedly saying, yo, I can't do this no more. And he's just in the house. He don't know what's going on. So the baby was at the door for, several minutes. 38-degree weather. There's not an amount of hate that you can have for somebody that is your baby mom, baby father, that will allow you to leave your child in that type of predicament. You're the parent, you're the protector, either mom or dad. How, it's one thing, it's 38-degree weather, wouldn't you call and say, hey, I'm downstairs, or I'm going to be in front of your door in about an hour or so. I'm downstairs. Please come downstairs. I have your son. I'm about to go do something. He can't be with me. Whatever the case may be. Those are the protocols that you take in 38-degree weather. Now, if it was 80 degrees, 60 degrees, you still don't leave your child unattended on the damn porch. Anything could have happened. An animal or a rat or whatever, whatever, a raccoon, anything could have happened. You are the protector. And she deserved every bit of this backlash, because had that been him, if he would have knocked on the door, left the baby on the porch, and kept it pushing, it would have been a whole problem. Charges would have been filed. Yeah, arrest that man. This is very nasty work. Nasty work. You cannot have that much hate and disdain for the person you have, a person that you have the child with, to leave your child in that type of environment unattended. Now, I can understand you don't like your baby father or your baby mother. I can understand that. Don't want to look at them, don't want to be in the same room with them. I understand that. I understand that. But when your child is in the midst of this, all of that goes out the window, at least for that moment. All of that is about your child's safety, because you're what? I'm an adult. Yeah, that's what you do. You do adult things. And I'm glad they caught this on camera, because this goes to the level of petty. Like, this is a whole nother level of petty. Now, I'm petty Pendergrass, but that's a different type of level of petty. I'm not petty on that level, right? I'm playful petty, right? But not to make it about myself. But this level is, I don't even want to call it petty. This is, it's a word that I can't find right now, but it's that. This is just irresponsible, and this is just on a whole nother level of negligent. That's what that is. That's not even petty. That's just negligent. To put your child at that type of risk, even if it's for minutes, because you just never know what's outside. You don't even know if he's knocked out in the house. Now imagine if Sammy been out all day, went inside, and was knocked out. Can you imagine if he was knocked out? You ever been like knocked out, whether that's men or female, and you've been working all day, whatever you've been doing, but once you get into the house, you're knocked out. You're not expecting your child to come through, nothing. You're knocked out. And come to find out your child is outside freezing. You, like, what do you do? So again, she deserves all this backlash coming to her. Shout out to Patrick in the building. Very irresponsible. I love that. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. That's a mom that doesn't love her child, bottom line. Bro, I agree with you. I agree with you. Because again, and I'm talking about for the most part, right? When we have children, and whether you're mom or whether you're dad, you had a good time having that child for the most part, right? You openly gave yourself to be in that situation. That's why when we talked about STDs the other day, you're responsible. If you catch an STD, you can't get mad at the other person. You made a decision to do what you was doing. Even to say yes, the act of sex, that's for the most part, it's voluntary for the most part. We know that there's extenuated circumstances. Yes, we're not talking about that. But the point that I'm making is that when you get down and dirty with somebody in the bedroom, it's voluntary. Now, when you have children, now you don't like this person, you can't stand them, this, that, and third, I can understand that, right? But you have to be grown enough to make decisions for your child. You have to be grown enough to endure that backlash or that tug of war for the safety of your child. Everything else is BS outside of the safety of your child. If you don't like being around your daughter's mom or your son's mom, or vice versa, your son's father or your daughter's father, at the end of the day, that doesn't matter as long as their safety is good. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be around them. You don't even got to talk to them like that. But as long as you jeopardize all of that and throw out the child's safety because you don't want to talk to this person, because you want to be petty and be negligent, like, what are we doing? Now, again, if that was him leaving that child in front of her doorstep. And again, she could have been knocked out, especially if she wasn't expecting her child. And he was out there for minutes on end or maybe an hour freezing in 38-degree weather at night. They would have brought him up on charges. That's negligence. That's child endangerment. So I'm glad she's getting this work because she need that work. And I'm surprised she's not brought up on any charges because it's just what I said. It's child endangerment. It's negligence. So we can't be that petty with, again, I keep saying petty. It's not the right word. We can't be that negligent when it comes to our children just because we have a disdain for somebody that we openly had a bedroom time with. We openly did that. We openly went in raw dog. We openly kept it cracking while the condom popped. We openly did that. When you lay down, all things can happen because what? Sex is an adult act. So whatever comes from sex, whether it's children, STDs, hey, you signed up for that. We all do. We all do because it's a part of the responsibility of having it. You have to protect yourself. That's the first thing you hear in school. You got to protect yourself. You got to get you some condoms. And now when you have children, you can't be that negligent and jeopardize your child's safety because you have a disdain for the other parent. So that's that's how I feel about that. That's crazy work to me. That's crazy work. That's crazy work to me. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. Shout out to Shay. That's crazy. What type of mother does this to their child? I agree with you. Shout out to Shay. I agree with Shay. One of our day ones. Appreciate that. Yeah, I agree with you. I can't think of one mother that I grew up around that would do something like that at all. Whether it's somebody my age or somebody my mom's age, her friends and stuff like that, I can't think of not one. Not one. Seriously. It's nasty work. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. And again, hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. PS5 is having a price hike. They're moving the PS5s to 600. They doing the to 650. Excuse me. They're doing the PS5s to 650. The digital edition to 600. And the Pro edition to 900. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Shout out to Cece. No mother, that's not a mother. That's pure evil. I agree with that. Them tariff baby, keep it coming. Yeah, bro, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I was about to say something, but I'm gonna let it go. But again, you can't have that much disdain for the person that you choose to have your children with, where you jeopardize their safety because you don't like them. But at one point in time, you did. At one point in time, you might have even loved them or been in love with them. It's not that much disdain in the world. You may not like them anymore. You may not want to be around them anymore. You may not want to speak to them anymore. I understand that. But that also come and goes. There'll be some years where y'all can actually be cool. There'll be some years where it's like, I absolutely get that. But there's not enough disdain in the world to jeopardize your child's safety. For sure. So I agree with y'all in the chat. Shout out to CC. We got to send Sony to Turkey. Yes. Yeah, that's a fact, right? If you haven't got you a PS5 yet, you better hurry up and get you one because these price hikes is happening. Again, they raising it to 650, digital edition to 600, and the Pro edition to 900. So I think that's supposed to be 800 if I'm not mistaken. I think that's 800, not 600, as far as the digital edition. So I might be mistaken on that, but definitely to 650 digital edition. I believe it's 800, but I wrote 600 probably by accident. But the Pro edition is definitely going to be $900. This is crazy. Like, my thing is this, right? I love PS5, right? I think the best game that we've got for PS5 so far, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I'm a big sports guy, it's probably College Football 2025. Probably the best sports games that we got so far. 2026 had several bugs in it, and it was just like, it felt super duper rushed, right? So with that being said, PS5 has been out for a little while, and they got several other good games that I hear is good games, like literally good games. So if your reputation of video game making had been subpar, how do you raise it? And I thought we were supposed to be getting a PS6 like in about the next 4 years. So why are you raising the price if it's only going to go out of style in the next 4 or 5 years? Because remember, with the whole Grand Theft Auto, it was supposed to come out with the new Grand Theft Auto, but the Grand Theft Auto game is taking more time to develop. And they already came out and said because of, they didn't say this in particular, but I believe because of college football being reintroduced, now you have to add on more time when you can actually release the PS6 because, you know, college football is a big game for the PS division in its total. So because of that, now y'all gonna boost up the price. Like, this is nasty work. And then mind you, most people that have PS5s is on their second PS5, third PS5, fourth PS5 because they then overheated, the game console then burnt out, all types of stuff. So now, is this going to be a better quality, or is it just the same thing for just higher price for a higher price? Now, if they're saying, okay, if you buy this game, you'll never have another issue with the console ever again, then that might be a conversation. But 9 times out of 10, it don't work like that. It's a machine. Machines do break down. Machines do need to be refurbished. So we're paying for what? So I don't like it. I know Sony was bought out by another company last year, if I'm not mistaken. And it could be the company in itself that acquired them that wanted to do the hike just so that they could make a return on their investment a little faster. But overall, I hate it. Don't like it at all. Sony is blaming the higher price of the PlayStation on tariffs. So they're saying the tariffs is the reason why they're going up on a PlayStation. Thank you for sharing that, bro, because I honestly didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. Shout out to Patrick, big badge holder, one of our day ones, one of our mods. So make sure y'all talk to me nice. But even if that's their like excuse, right? I'm still not jacking that. Like, I'm still not jacking it. That's what they blame it on, but I'm still not jacking it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sound the same as me. Like, yo, like, we not jacking that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they blaming it on, right? You're like, yo, we not jacking that, man. Like, what are y'all talking about? Keep the price as is, man. Shout out to Cap in the building. My dog Capper from the last show, man. Appreciate you for tapping and hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of the show. Man, video games are such a scam now. You're paying six to 80 for an incomplete game. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. It pisses you off, right? Like me when all right, so the only reason why I bought a PS5 is because of college football. I'm a big college football fan. And when they had the PS5s and they discontinued the college football game, I didn't buy a PS4. It's a waste of money. I'm gonna keep my PS3, keep playing 2014. playing San Andreas and my lives. And when my friends would come on, like, you still playing the PS3, dog? I'll say they got my games that I like. Fast forward, bring college football back, and they like, yo, you could get the $60 package, $80 package, $100 package, or the $125 package. You know what I'm saying? And it's like all these packages. Pause. And like, what happened to when you just bought the game and you got all the stuff in the game and you didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, get all the packages with it. Now, when you play live, or excuse me, live, when you play 2K, like, it's all these packages, right? You want to develop your My Player, you got to go into the damn locker room, get the sneakers. You know, you got to get you a $5,000 thing or whatever. Then get you the sneakers that cost you $250 and the shirt and all this other garbage that you can't wear in the actual damn dynasty. Oh, you want to win in the dynasty? Oh, so you got to pay another $10. It's like, yo, I already paid $60 for the game here. Like, what are y'all talking about? So I agree with you on that. I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you on that. There are some games I'm having a hell of a time with, though. I'm not gonna lie. Mortal Kombat is fire. The Mortal Kombat games is fire. I'm not gonna hold you. College football, 25 is better than 26, but 26 is updated, you know, with the latest stuff. Madden 26, in my opinion, is probably one of the best Maddens we've had in a very long time, if not the best, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I enjoy Madden 26. There's another game, surprisingly, that I'm enjoying is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah, they got a game where you playing the victim and you hide in the freezer and all that. And you gotta you know what I'm saying, be cool like how you be cool, get up out of that crawl space, or the slasher gonna come out of nowhere. Or you could be in the frat house and the slasher just come running through the frat house killing everybody, and it's kind of frantic. So that's kind of popping, I will say that. Grand Theft Auto 5, fire game. Fire game, I will say that. But it's always incomplete because when I first got the Grand Theft Auto, there's the story mode, and there's the arcade mode, and you got $20 for that, $50. Like, yo, I thought it was $40. Like, what are we talking about? So I definitely agree with you on that, Kappa. It's a cash grab for sure, for sure, for sure. I definitely agree with y'all. Shout out to Patrick. So you can't buy an actual physical game anymore. Everything is download now. I don't play video games anymore. I'm out. I'm out of the loop. So you can actually buy the physical for sure, but in some games, the physical don't have every single thing that game needs, right? But you can still add on through the internet. So the internet, or being, because you could get it online or whatever the case may be, you can add to the physical. You know what I'm saying? So cause I bought the physical Mortal Kombat, and my bro was like, yo, why are you buying physical, bro? You could just download it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you can download the game now, bro. It goes directly to the game. I'm like, oh, so we don't gotta buy physical copies no more? Nah, you can just download it. I'm like, oh, I ain't know. All right. But it doesn't come with everything that you need in the physical copy either. So, yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's a whole bunch of work. And if you playing online, that's a whole nother type of cash for the year. Like, oh, all right, you want it for the month, so you want to play online, that's $24 for the month. Or you could get the whole thing for the year for like $100 or $80, something, whatever the package may be at that time. Yeah, it's all cash grab for sure. I got you. Yeah, it's crazy now. It's crazy. Some games is a great time though, once you get everything together. I will say that. But it feels like a cash grab. It's definitely a cash grab, because there's no longer, you buy the game, you take it home, you go crazy, you got everything you need in the game, you don't have to buy adages, and you just go crazy, right? So, and even I'm having the toughest time in my life. Every time I'm trying to do an expansion team, and I put the expansion jerseys, and by the time the team come out, it be whack plain jerseys. Like, yo, I didn't pick that jersey, yo. Games be getting me tight. Resident Evil, the original, was the last game I played. Wow, that's been a minute. Yeah, that's a minute ago. You were talking about original PlayStation, bro. You know what I'm saying? If they shut the server down and even you had a hard copy, you can't play. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy altogether. It's definitely a cash grab. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic in Time to Rap. Several former Colorado Buffalo players have spoken out with their new teams of lack of coaching at Colorado. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Several former Colorado Buff players have spoken out about the experience at Colorado or previous experience at Colorado to their new team. So let me know what y'all think about that in the chat. Ruin 12 in the building. My dog, one of our big badge holders, one of our day ones, one of our mods, Talk to Me Nice is in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Hit them likes, hit the 100s. It helps with the growth of this show. And remember, y'all, I drop videos daily. So again, continue to leave those comments and stay engaged. I've been seeing y'all comments and engagement has gone up. So again, I thank y'all for y'all support. So again, several former Colorado Buff players have spoken out of their time at Colorado. They're with their new teams. Players such as Ryan Staub, Jordan Seaton, London Merritt has spoken out about their experience at Colorado. So I will say this. Some players, and I don't want to, I'm just going to make it general. Some of the players overall, for majority of the players, they all spoken out and felt like they're getting more coaching at their new schools, right? At their new schools, they feel like it's more important at their new school, meaning that the program feels more important than Colorado. Now, it needs to be said, one of the players went to LSU, another player went to Clemson, another player went to Tennessee. And they felt like they're getting more coaching and it feels more important at these new schools. Now, when people go in on Colorado based on that metric alone, what do you expect them to say? They're not going to be at their new school and be like, yeah, you know what? Like, yeah, it was more lit at Colorado. That's why I left, because it was more lit over there. What do you expect them to say? They have to keep it PC, regardless if it's true or not. But I find it quite interesting that we highlight Colorado players or the Colorado school as if Colorado was the only big name school last year to have a bad year. Mind you, the year previously before that, they had a Heisman Trophy winner, a Johnny Unitas Award winner. They had several guys going to the NFL. They had like 4 receivers in the NFL from that team alone. Offensive line, defensive line, corner, DB, safety, a linebacker. Like, what are we talking about? Quarterback, several receivers. I mean, it goes on and on, right? They're not the only team that had a down year. They're not the only team that had 5 stars and 4 stars move on from their prospective schools. Colorado received replacement guys. I want to call them replacement, but the guys that they replaced those guys with, these guys can play. They're going to make a name for themselves. And let's be honest, majority of those players that transferred, we only knew about them because they went to Colorado. If they would have went to other schools first, nobody would be talking about them how whatever they are, because if they were who they were supposed to be, they wouldn't have left. When you're the big dog on campus, when you're the big kahuna, you don't leave your school. When you little bro, when you little homie, you leave the school because you're getting your money elsewhere, because the school is not making you basically the franchise financially. They could call you the franchise, they could give you that love, but real respect comes with what? Money. When people say, yeah, your value is this, man, you don't know your value until they willing to put the bread up. So when several of these players were speaking, these guys, let's keep it real. They're good players. I don't want to say that they're not good players, but as far as profile, their profile is their profile because they went to Colorado and Coach Dion. And honestly, I root for these kids because just because a kid choose to go from one school to the next doesn't mean you stop rooting for him. What type of that's just a whole nother level of just like whack. That's not what we doing here. But I'm calling a spade a spade. Because just like how I've heard, I think John Calipari said this, and this pissed me off. He said we should go back to how it used to be. When kids transfer, they have to sit out a year and this, that. I'm like, what? Man, if you don't get that arcade out of here, no, 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 no. Scholarships is 1 year renewal. If a kid wants to leave, let him leave. Let him leave. Now, the aspect about Colorado, again, we have players leave Alabama, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio, and y'all know what I mean by Ohio, right? Tennessee, Alabama, so on and so forth. Several big-time schools, blue bloods on top of that, Texas, and they lost several players to other schools. That's just the nature of the business. That's just how it's going to be. So to highlight Colorado because Dion is there is super whack. Now, there's something to be said on some of the things that they said. Because again, they're not going to say that their new school is worse than their old school, right? But this raises an interesting question when you had NFL level coaches at Colorado the previous year, and the players felt like they wasn't getting coached as hard. Now, can I believe that? For sure. Because NFL style coaches work with men. And what I mean by men is that when you tell an athlete who makes money and plays to make that money, it's like, yo, you need to do this or you're out. NFL is a completely different show. College, guys are men. They're grown men. But you got to stay on them a little bit, right? It's still college. They still have to answer to somebody. They still have to deal with somebody that has a greater purpose than them, which is the coach. If the coach don't want to play on his college team, guess what? The player is no longer there. And the NFL, if a star player is like, yo, this coach is ass, I'm not going to listen to him, get him out of here. Guess what? They're going to get the coach out of there. It's a different program. So it's very easy to believe that some of the players felt like they wasn't getting coached up as much, meaning staying on top of their butt to making sure they're doing the little things opposed to saying it one time. NFL style coaches don't even recruit for real. Because again, in the NFL, you know you're getting a certain level of talent in the NFL. It's the NFL, right? So again, college is different. But I did see Colorado make the necessary changes. So again, I'm happy for these young men if they're happy in a new situation. But I find it quite interesting that these players are being asked and painting that picture of Colorado and Coach Prime. And you don't see the same thing with Coach Prime and his players. Coach Prime got guys from Texas. He got guys from the University of Houston. He got guys from, he got great players from New Mexico State. People like ask about New Mexico State. He got some great players from New Mexico State. He got a great safety from Vanderbilt. This kid, Randon. Oh my God, I seen him play on Vanderbilt last year, and I was like, yo, what year is this kid in? Like, I would love to see him in a Michigan uniform. That's how nice he was. He was taking over the game in the SEC game, playing strong safety. They get another kid named Boo Carter, who, like bro, this kid is nice. Like, what, he's NFL bound. So every school loses great players every year. But I just find it quite interesting that the they ask these leading questions about Colorado in particular, but they don't ask questions about Arizona State. Arizona State lost their star quarterback from last year. He's at LSU too. They didn't ask them about that. Yeah, what's the difference between Arizona State and LSU? Huh? Nobody cares. Justice Haynes, who was from Alabama, came to Michigan, ripped Michigan up. He got hurt towards the end of the year, but he chose to transfer to Georgia Tech. I hate that. He should be in Michigan, but he chose to go to Georgia Tech. That's where he's from, the state of Georgia. Okay, respect it. Hate it, though. You don't see cameras in his face. What was so bad about Michigan that you had to transfer from Michigan to Georgia Tech? It's not even on the same level. But when it comes to Colorado, comes to Coach Prime, you see the agenda. So I just think that's super duper whack. If you're at the new school, that's not act like these players is not going to hold up the new school in the highest regard. They want to be beloved by the fans, the teammates, and the coaches. That's just simple math. Like what are we doing? So I just find it very misleading and very comical that they would even go into that realm. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Patrick. My Irish is winning a chip next year. Just saying. The show didn't freeze, bro. Y'all know y'all not winning no chip. Y'all not winning no chip. Y'all gonna be decimated from the draft. Like, what you talking about? Y'all not winning no chip. Nah, y'all don't win no chip. I feel you though. I will say this about Notre Dame. Join a conference. I don't know who's in charge of Notre Dame leadership, but if Notre Dame would join the Big Ten, like I'm gonna put it like this: Notre Dame does Michigan, Alabama, Texas, and all the other top schools a favor by staying independent. If they join a conference such as the Big Ten, which all of their biggest rivalries is in, they would be a recruiting nightmare to recruit against because they're in the Big Ten. They're the Irish. They got the tradition. You can wear the colors. We send guys to the NFL. We got the infrastructure. We got the NIL, and y'all have a great coach. But y'all do yourself your own disservice by not joining a conference. Join a conference. If y'all was actually in the Big Ten, I would keep it cool like how I keep it cool and just wait to play y'all. You know what I'm saying? I keep it Humby like. But when we win, I'ma talk my talk. But I keep it Humby before the game. But y'all make it so much easier. And when I say y'all, I mean in the leadership of Notre Dame when it comes to picking a conference. Y'all just won't join the conference. The ACC don't want to have nothing to do with y'all. Y'all real rivalries is not even in the ACC. It's the Big Ten. USC, Michigan, UCLA, Northwestern, Purdue. Like, these are y'all major rivals. Indiana's another major rival. Join a conference. Join the Big Ten in particular. Then if y'all do that, I don't know. Y'all recruiting will go through the roof. That's all I'm saying. Ash, can you trade me? Kappa, go blue. You feel me? Michigan all day, baby. Michigan all day. So, again, I just find it interesting that, again, when these players are at, like when I watch Colorado, they got several guys from Texas. And I'm talking about starters. Starters from Texas. They got. Not one person asked them about Texas. Not one. And I know I said New Mexico State earlier, like they some big time school. I said it because they're not a big time school. That they was able to get 3 players that now they on a higher elevated level. People gonna see how good they are. And coming from a lower level doesn't mean you can't play, right? We seen a Heisman Trophy winner that came from, y'all know I hate saying black, but black college football, and that was black college football while he played both ways. But he played more snaps in the P4 than he did at black college football and won the damn Heisman and won every single award. Shador was tearing it up in black college football, but threw more passing yards at Colorado. So when you can play, you can play. So that's why I mentioned New Mexico State. Cultured college football. That's right, cultured college football. You feel me, CC? Cultured. If y'all know, I hate saying the word black because that's not what we are. We're not 3/5 of a people or a person. I hate that term. We're using terms that they gave us. We was colored. We was black. We was Negro. We cultured folks around here. But that's a whole nother story. But y'all get the point that I'm making. If you can play, you can play. The best receiver ever in the NFL, ever in the history. He didn't go to Alabama. He didn't go to Michigan. He didn't go to Notre Dame. He didn't go to Miami. He went to Mississippi Valley State. Ran a 4.6 and cooking everybody in the age where everybody ran the ball. Still got all the passing, receiving yard records. He still got all the receiving records still to this day. Mississippi Valley State. Come on, man. And when you could play, you could play. CC Ash, I want your opinion. U.S. Polo. Send it to Turkey. For sure, send that to Turkey. For sure. Or not. Definitely send U.S. Polo, the assistant, or whatever whatever that ASSN, send that to Turkey. I ain't gonna hold you. I had to get a couple of shirts like that when I was in Colombia, because that was the closest thing to polo that they had. Like, I went to the Columbia Mall out there, and I'm like, yo, like, where y'all stuff? And it was that, and yo, all the upper echelon, like, jiggy dudes in Colombia, yeah, that's what they rock. You know what I'm saying? They rock that polo. They think it's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same, but yeah, I had to get a couple shirts while I was there for 7 days, man. What you expect, man? They lost my luggage on the way there. Had to get a couple shirts, man. You know what I'm saying? I come with the same thing all day. So, shout out to Polo Assistant, whatever it's called. You know what I'm saying? So the Turkey or nah says knock off Polo. Personally, I think you can rock it. You chill it, drip is regardless. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a knockoff, but you know what I'm saying? It came in handy in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? I had that, bro. I was in the club in Colombia with the Polo Assistant shirt because they had lost my luggage. The polo pants. They had like these these church black socks that was like their version of American Eagle, and I had my flops on in the club. I was like, yo, what am I doing with my life? I came to Colombia, and it didn't make a difference. Like, it was like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a good time. It's not a good time. You know what I'm saying? They like my smile. What can I say? You know what I'm saying? Pause. Ruin 12, Ash. What is Polo SSN? Are they really the same or a separate brand? Now, I believe for sure it's a separate brand. You could definitely find it in Target. They have a Target section for that. But the point that I'm making is when I was in Colombia, I had to give me a couple, and then I was actually like looking like, yo, like this, like yo, what's up with y'all colors? Like, so I was actually looking for a fit to go to the club that night. I felt crazy, and I had to wear my flops. I definitely wasn't buying no kicks out there. Nah. And my boy was like, yo, you good? Like, just go like that. I'm like, what? I was like, I don't feel right. I don't, like my luggage. He was like, yo, I'm telling you, good. And he was right. I was good money. Good money. Y'all laughing at me in the chat. I'm dead ass, though. Is that country anything like Brazil? Haven't been to Brazil, but I've been to Jamaica, and it's different, but about the same. It's different, but about the same. But I had a great time in both. Jamaica was popping, too. But I made sure I had all my luggage in Jamaica, though. But it was popping, too, though. You know what I'm saying? Had a good time in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? They like my smile in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? And Jamaica's probably the I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone. Now I'm gonna say Jamaica was one of them places where it was beautiful to see my people like in charge of stuff, running stuff, and it was like quality, like you know what I'm saying? Like it was like yo, people was proud of the work that they did, and like Jamaica was a good time. I had a good time in Jamaica. The ladies, beautiful in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? The accent, just it's a good time in Jamaica. Good time. Yeah, went jet skiing and all that. You know what I'm saying? Didn't fall either. The dead guy was like, "Yo, be careful, you could fall." I was like, so and it was raining too. You know what I'm saying, like, so I was, like, we're going jet. I don't care if it's raining. Monsoon, we're gonna get on these jet skis. I always thought it was like a lower quality of polo. It is a lower quality of polo. It's for sure a lower level quality of polo for sure. I don't even think it's the same company. It's not even the same company. But hey, man, I had to do what I had to do and when I was at Columbia though. You said send that ish to Turkey. Don't hesitate. Yeah, I'm still sending it to Turkey, but you know what I'm saying? Like in Colombia, hey man, yo, we out here, baby. You feel me? We out here. Take me with next time, Ash. Colombia is a good time. Colombia was popping. Jamaica was popping. Some good times, man. Good times. Good times. Trinidad is popping. Good times. That's some good times there. Ladies, just beautiful. They like my smile. You know what I'm saying? Had a good time in all those places. Good times. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next one. Our Keep the Lie Alive. So my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode is this. I kind of the theme of the show is basically tonight's Keep the Lie Alive. Me personally, this is how I look at it. Sometimes God remove people from your life because he heard the conversation they had about you. People that you hold in high regard. And I spoke about a little bit earlier about family and how scary and how detrimental it is to have fake friends. People that don't want to see you put your best foot forward. People that smile when you go through the struggle or something bad, and then when you do something well, there's no support. God removed people from your life because he heard conversations that you couldn't hear about you from them. That's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. So anytime you feel like you had a friend and you feel like you had somebody solid and just out of nowhere they disappeared, or every time that you come around now they get quiet in a room full of people, God heard some conversations on why that y'all no longer connected. And that's a good thing. That's not a negative. That shows growth. That shows understanding self. That's a level of confidence. Because if other people have to attach themselves to other people to try to dim your light, that says a lot about them. Remember how we spoke about earlier about the woman who went viral for saying that the biggest reason why men is not approaching women is because, men are choosing to get pleasured from watching porn, right? An excuse, not being the best version of herself. To understand that has nothing to do with nothing when the porn industry is down. So less men is watching. So you're looking for an excuse because you're not on top of your game. Same thing when you remove people from your life. Either you do it voluntarily or involuntarily. And when God does it, it's involuntarily because that wasn't your goal, right? But again, he'd heard conversations they had about you behind your back. And that's why they no longer a part of your life. And you have to be grateful and thankful for that because you no longer evolve your circle around negative energy. What else did we talk about earlier? We talked about karma. And when people have that negative energy, that negative aura around you, and sometimes we feel like we got to be King Petty. And Lord, I know I do. Ain't nothing that make my heart feel better than knowing I could be King Petty, And this thing called karma. And it does that way better than being petty. Way better than to get back. Way better than, they just got to walk away feeling that real quick. That karma gets to them on a whole nother level. Because that karma, you can't refute it. Can't fight it. That karma doesn't have a face. So again, be grateful, thankful when God removed people from your life, because he heard conversations they had about you behind your back. And that's my Keep the Lie Live for this episode. I want to thank y'all for tuning and tapping in. Y'all been absolutely amazing. I'm on every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30. Remember, y'all, I drop videos daily, so continue to like, subscribe, share, hit that all notification bell, continue to engage, leave those comments. I've been seeing y'all comments on those new videos or on the videos in itself, I should say. And again, I appreciate the engagement, and it continues to help with the growth of the show and with the growth of the content, because we speak about everything here. I cover everything. Nothing goes unserved. So again, I appreciate y'all support and y'all love. And again, hitting that like, subscribe, and that share button shows that support. Hit them hearts, hit the 100s, hit them hearts, hit the 100s on your way out. Again, it does so much for the show. This is episode 250. Why is that so significant? It shows you my commitment to the show and the consistency of the content. So again, I want to thank y'all for showing major love. Shout out to the chat, man. The chat that stay engaged, the chat that's loyal each and every episode. Thank you. I hope y'all can understand how thankful that I am from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart for supporting the show, supporting the music, and everything else that I have going on regarding Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Again, I'm Ashley Lovechild. And if you haven't heard of me before, you heard of me now. So you could go look up any music anywhere. I don't care, on any platform. I got some fire music, dog. But in the mean between time, continue to support the pod. And again, we talk about everything. Shout out to Ruin 12, my dog in the building, one of our day ones, big badge holders and mods. And y'all been talking to me nice all show long. So shout out to Ruin 12. Shout out to CC in the building. Shout out to Patrick in the building. Shout out to Yellow in the building. Shout out to, I don't know if I go that far. Shout out to Kappa in the building. Kappa showed mad love tonight. Appreciate Kappa. Shout out to King P in the building, one of our big contributors. Shout out to Shay. Shout out, I'm not going to say everybody is going, like it's stopping now. But shout out to y'all. Shout out to Paul, Big Paul in the building. Shout out to Paul in the building. And if I haven't said your name, shout out to you. It's not on purpose. It just, I have to go all the way up to everybody. But again, major love. I thank y'all for y'all support. Again, I'm on every Sunday, every Wednesday. Every Sunday, every Wednesday at 10:30. And again, be on the lookout for some new videos tomorrow. They coming out tomorrow. And major love. And remember, y'all, do not be an agent of chaos. Do not be a stain. Do not stand out for being negative. Have the ability to stand out by being positive. Lose that Willie Lynch mindset. Lose that it can only be one mindset. The only op we recognize over here is opportunity. We celebrate life culture over here. Hate has a location. It's just not here. And I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. I'm going to walk off into the sunset with my alkaline water. And y'all already know, man, it's love. I'm going to see y'all this Wednesday at 10:30. I'm out.